Before we start, could you give us a quick introduction on yourself?
All right, my name is Ryan Carter. I'm from the United States, the state of Virginia, near Washington, D.C. I'm 29 years old, and I've been in Shanghai for 4 years. My business is, I guess you could call me a landscape architect or a gardener or, whatever. It's kind of hard to define, but I make gardens for people. I moved here in August of 2009, the end of August 2009. I can tell you the day, actually. It's August 19th of 2009, because it was 3 days before my 25th birthday, and I remember that was the loneliest birthday I ever had. I have a very good friend also from Virginia. He was here a year before I was here, and he had been trying to get me to come. So I came over first, taught at this international school, taught 10th through 12th graders at this international school for 3 years. Originally that's how I came, so the school sponsored everything.
Is there something you'd say you're really very passionate about?
Yeah, well, two things. Books and literature, and then gardens, probably, I would say.
Things, all right. What would you say is Shanghai in 3 words or 3 sentences?
Fast, female, and bright. The quickness part, I mean, it changes and grows so quickly. Since being here, actually, New York seems fairly relaxed, if that makes any sense, which it doesn't really, but Shanghai moves very, very fast. It grows very, very fast. I mean, the skyline is completely different from when I got here 4 years ago. In terms of being female, Shanghai is a city where women rule, and men sort of do their bidding. It's a place where, shopping and glitz and all of these things are very popular in theater and theatrics and sort of, coyness. And I guess, this is perhaps not the most politically correct explanation of things, but it somehow fits here. In terms of being glitzy, I think that sort of goes along with what I was just saying. Bright colors, bright lights, big city.
What struck you most when you arrived first?
I mean, it was a lot of different things, it's completely different cultures, so there's a lot of things to get used to. One thing that struck me is how cheap and good the food is here. You can really have a very good meal for very little money, and I think most of the people that I know who are expats here don't actually cook because there's not a whole lot of point in it.
Was there some kind of culture shock to you when you arrived?
Personal space is something that's not really respected, and I don't mean to put that in a negative way, but it's just like everyone expects to be sort of closer together, for instance. That was difficult for me, being cramped into an elevator with 20 people, where in America, there would be 10 people, and then, once it got to a certain number of people, the next people would wait. The spitting, the yelling, people are loud here. So
what would you say is the thing you like best and the thing you like least about living in Shanghai?
Some of those characteristics about, the way that people treat each other here are probably the things that I like least. There's a lot of situations where if you're not related to somebody, if you're not in their family, or if you're not, don't have any kind of guanxi, which is the word for a relationship with them, then people just sort of pretend that you don't even exist, to some degree, and it makes the city seem pretty cold at times. And in business situations and things like this, it can cause a lot of trouble. Things that I like. I mean, on the other hand, it's sort of the flip side of that. When you do get to know people, people are really, really, really warm, and will go out of their way to do anything for you. So the architecture here is unparalleled, both the old stuff and the new stuff. I mean, Shanghai has, for instance, one of the best remaining sort of assemblages of period Art Deco architecture in the world, probably.
Any moments where you miss home?
Not really. I kind of always have known that I wanted to be an expat. I mean, I went to boarding school for high school, so I started living away from home very early. So that was never really difficult for me. I was thinking about different options. For instance, I thought about the American Peace Corps for a while, and then sort of decided, well, I don't really want to be in Sub-Saharan Africa necessarily, when I could be in a city where culture is being made instead.
Watch the entire interview on whatsitLike.tv. Our interviewee shares personal experience about all aspects of living abroad. For example, what's it like to integrate and make friends? What's it like at work and in business? What's it like to live in the city? What's it like to bring a partner and kids? We have prepared for you hundreds of candid, real-life accounts of expatriates who are actually there. It is almost as if you call them directly. See you on whatsitLike.tv and get all your answers before you move.